Let's talk about what water resources are. A lot of people may have maybe a smaller view of what water resources are. I'm from South Louisiana, where we drain from Montana to New York to 2 Canadian provinces. So when you talk water resources in Louisiana, we have too much of it. It's often in our living rooms. And we also are having a threat from the south in that we have hurricanes that are coming in and sending surges of water that way. Now that's very much distinguished from water resource issues that you may be talking about out west, whereby it is, I don't have water to drink or don't have clean water or other challenges along those lines. And so in South Louisiana at home, some of the challenges that I've had personally have been dealing with Hurricane Katrina, which I want to say I think it was largely a preventable event, not entirely, but largely a preventable event. By some measure, you can justify that we spent somewhere around $150 to $180 billion responding to that hurricane and the other hurricane, Hurricane Rita, that we had in 2005 back to back. $150 to $180 billion. Think about that for just a minute. Our back of the envelope calculations indicate that we could have spent somewhere around 8 to 10 billion on the front end, and we could have saved 90% of the 1,500 lives that were lost. Think about that for just a minute. 90%. We also could have saved 90% of that money. And so it's personal for me because I will tell you, I have this guilt on me that I feel like that I should have done more, and I don't think I'm ever in my life going to lose it. And so one of the things that I committed to was to make sure that we never allowed anything like that to happen again. And so after Hurricane Katrina, we came in and we were able to pull together through about 42 different funding sources, about $25 billion. And we built levees, we built flood walls, we elevated homes and buildings, we restored our coast, we acquired coastal forest, one of the best natural barriers for storm surge, put together a coastal master plan that really is on the cutting edge of technology and using every single tool in the toolbox that we could find, and brought together some of the best scientists from around the world to do it. And so we made more progress in about a 6-year period than really any 40-year period prior to that. We integrated all of our structural and non-structural, our levees and flood walls, again with our wetlands restoration and restoring natural features all into one program, which allowed us to really make extraordinary progress down there. We still have a lot of work to do, but I can say now that in the greater New Orleans area, we have the best protection system. We have the most resilient community than we've ever had down there. But this is a dynamic issue. Sea rise, we have some of the fastest subsidence rates in the world in South Louisiana. This is not a deal where you say, okay, I'm in the end zone, I'm done. This is a process that you just continue to work on. So lastly, I'll just say, as I opened up, I talked about how we think we could have spent 8 to 10 billion on the front end. I feel very strongly that our water resources program in the United States is entirely backwards. And whether you want to talk about water rights, you want to talk about water management, you want to talk about navigation, or you want to talk about disaster policy, we repeatedly spend exponentially more money after a disaster happens rather than spending a fraction on the front end and actually being proactive. And by the way, when you're proactive, you have more resilient communities, more resilient economy, more resilient environment, and we're missing those opportunities. But we're beginning to pivot.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos from Brookings.